and we're going to get to the next topic. And, the couch burning came up in the last video, and that is a great segue into talking about 3 new commitments for West Virginia football in the 2027 class. And this first one, boy, did he commit in true West Virginia fashion by burning a friggin' couch. And I'm going to show you this video just in case you haven't seen it yet. We're going to take a look at it together.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to announce that I'm committing to West Virginia. Go Mountaineers, baby!
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
What's up?
Now, is that not committing in style? This is, by the way, Eric Lawson is this young man's name. He's from Rye Cove High School in Duffield, Virginia, a little small town in the southwestern corner of Virginia, almost at the Tennessee border and even not too far from the Kentucky border. It's kind of right in that section where Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia all kind of connect. He's in that southwestern corner. Very rural area, a lot of similarities to West Virginia. It's coal mining country down there. Duffield's not a big, Rye Cove's not a big school, but this young man balled out there. He's a monster, 6'6", 300 pounds. He's one of the top 100 interior offensive linemen in the country, according to 24/7 Sports. 3-star recruit. Had offers from several Power 4 schools, including a rival of West Virginia, the Virginia Tech Hokies. It actually came down to Virginia Tech and WVU in his commitment. And he ended up choosing West Virginia. And it's my understanding he hasn't even taken an official visit yet to the Mountaineers, but he does have one scheduled soon. But he really has a connection with Rick Trickett. Really liked what he had to hear from the coaching staff, and he's just excited about being there. But here are the other schools that offered him other Power 4 schools were Duke, Syracuse, Louisville, Rutgers, and Wake Forest. So what is that? 7 total, counting Virginia Tech and West Virginia, Power 4 schools that offered Eric Lawson from Rye Cove High School in Duffield, Virginia. He's an all-state player, excels on both defense and offensive line at Rye Cove, but he will be coming to West Virginia to play offensive line. I actually have an article about him and one of the other recruits we're going to talk about over at the site, WVSportsChat.com. I recommend you please go check it out. Check out the site and all the other written content we have over there at WV Sports Chat. But that's Eric Lawson. The second commit I want to talk about is a skill position player named Brian Duncan Jr. And it's Brian with a Y and with an I. Never seen it like this. Bryan. Just thought that was very unique in the way that his parents chose to spell his name. But it's Brian Duncan Jr. Right now, with America's #1 sports picks at Prize Picks, you can play $5 and get $50 instantly in lineups by using code HMA and doing so with the link in the description box below. You do not have to pick individual player lineups. You can also pick teams. This most recent pick I chose West Virginia to be a college baseball World Series qualifier. I simply went to teams, to baseball futures, went down and found West Virginia. I'm buying them for $10 to go to the College World Series, as you see it on the screen right here. You can do something similar. If you want to pick the Mountaineers, you can do that as well. Today, using the link in the top of the description box, take advantage of the offer Prize Picks has today with code HMA. And if you do play, please be sure to play responsibly. Now let's get back to the show. It's my understanding he's coming to West Virginia to play running back, but he is very versatile. He can catch the football. His last season, or this past season rather, his junior season at Cairo High School in Georgia, he had 736 rushing yards and 767 receiving yards, and he had 19 total touchdowns. So a great season. His sophomore year, he had 1,795 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns on the ground and averaged almost 200 yards rushing a game. That's as a sophomore. At the 3A level in Georgia, which is, I think there are 6 or 7 levels in Georgia high school football, he was at the 3A level. So not the lowest level, but also not the highest level, somewhere in the middle. But this upcoming season, Cairo is apparently moving up to 4A, so he'll be playing even higher level of competition this year. But man, when you put up numbers like that at in high school, you've got some talent. You've got some ability. Now he's only 5'9", only 160 pounds, but he's going to put weight on. He's only a junior in high school, so he'll put weight on. And I'm not worried about the 5'9" height either, because guess who else was about 5'9"? Tavon Austin was only 5'8" or 5'9". Now, I'm not saying this young man's going to be as good as Tavon Austin by any stretch of the imagination, but Tavon Austin proved it. And, Noel Devine was short. He was only, 5'7", 5'8". He's a short guy, and he was an elite running back. So you can, Jaheim White was not very tall. But if Brian Duncan can put some weight on, get up to about probably that 190, 195 mark, which he probably can, maybe even 185, depending on how his body holds weight. But he'll be able to do that. By the West Virginia coaching staff will give him a regimen to follow, from weightlifting to nutrition. His senior year, and also his freshman year in Morgantown, he'll be able to come in and hit the ground running. But this young man, when you look at the list of schools who offered him, he's another 3-star recruit who had offers from Kentucky, Florida State, Mississippi State, and Pitt. That's right, Pitt. And ironically, Brian Duncan Jr. committed to West Virginia after taking an official visit over the weekend. The same weekend, West Virginia beat Kentucky in the regionals in baseball. And what makes that so ironic is he had actually already verbally committed to Kentucky. So this is a flip. So West Virginia beats Kentucky in baseball in the regionals. And then that Monday, or it may have been Sunday, whatever day it was, they flip a football recruit from Kentucky who had already been committed for a couple of months. Now, there's a caveat to all these 2027 recruits. They could all change their mind and never even show up on campus. I get that. Things can change. But as of right now, this is a big pickup. I would imagine there's some sort of connection here between Kentucky, Jay Bower, who was the running back coach at Kentucky last year. Maybe he had already started developing a relationship with this young man. I don't know that for sure. I'm just making that assumption based on the fact that Jay Bower did come from Kentucky, and that's where he coached last season. But a big pickup on the offensive side of the ball for West Virginia as far as another skill position player. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is one that other channels have probably already talked about, and we have written about this over to site, but it's defensive lineman Xavion Meads, a 6'3", 280-pound defensive lineman from Louisville, Kentucky. Another 3-star recruit, according to 24/7 Sports. He also held offers from Purdue, Nebraska, Missouri, Kentucky, and Baylor. So you've got a couple Big Ten schools, a couple of SEC schools, and another Big 12 school who were recruiting and had offered Xavion Meads. But instead, he chooses to come to West Virginia, play for Zach Alley, William Green, the defensive line coach, Rich Rodriguez, and he chooses to take his talents to Morgantown. Another big pickup. Shows the importance they're putting in on the trenches, getting the lines right, making sure they have good bodies up front on both sides of the ball. And 6'3", 280 pounds, you can imagine he's likely going to put some weight on. But he's already at 280. He's probably already big enough to play at the Power 4 level, just from a pure weight standpoint. You'd like him to get closer to 300, especially if he's going to be an interior lineman. But again, shouldn't have a problem doing that, considering he's still a junior in high school. So 3 big pickups for the Mountaineers: 1 on defense, 2 on offense, and 2 players who will help solidify the trenches for the Mountaineers in 2027. And 3 players we can all be excited about, all 3-star recruits